From Marketing Food Online, and in this video I'm going to explain to you, if you are a cottage food operator and you're kind of wondering what do I put on the label because you're not too sure, I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information about what is required for your food label if you're preparing food from home, and we're going to get into that right now. So I started Marketing Food Online with one basic idea: help other people start food products and food businesses. It can be a crazy challenge getting a food business up and running, but with Marketing Food Online and over 500 videos, I bring you resources every single week to help you be a success selling your food. So hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Nice cartoon right outside here at 98-degree weather. So we're going to hop right into it. I want to give you some information and let you know what is required for your label if you're producing a food product from home and you're not actually getting it in retail stores, but you're selling it at farmers markets or local events and fairs and festivals. What is required? Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. Of course, every state has a little twist of their own. So not every state will require you to have this specific information, but all in all, the gist is about the same as far as labeling, because they want to make sure that the food product you're selling directly to your customer, they are aware that it's not in a facility that would either be inspected by the state, inspected by a health department, or even the Department of Agriculture. So the labeling requirements are slightly different in several ways compared to a retail-ready package. So this video will cover the home-based food product labeling, and then I'm going to delve into a little bit of how the retail food packaging will work and how that's slightly different, okay? So let's get right into it. So as you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, every state does have slight variations on what they require, okay? To be honest, the information I'm going to give you for your label, for your product, is going to really encompass the gist of what's really important to not only inform the customer of what's inside the food product, but also that's something that's going to protect you if someone has an allergic reaction, or if they're looking for an allergen warning, or they need to know exactly what's in the ingredients. It's going to be kind of a protective thing for yourself as well. A lot of food entrepreneurs don't really look at it that way or don't even think about that, but the information is really crucial on the label to either sell a product or not sell it. Most of the consumers' decisions based upon the information that they get on a food product is obviously going to either they're going to buy it or they're just going to walk away from it. So let's get started. Number one, the business address. Now, this was actually a question that was really interesting because a subscriber asked about this. He actually was not very comfortable having to put his home-based food business address, which is, of course, your home, on the actual label itself. Now, if the state requires it, which 99.9% of the time they do, the reason why they do that is that they want to have a kind of a traceability, the idea that they could go back to where the food is produced. If they have to come in and do an inspection, or if they have to follow up on something, or if somebody gets sick, God forbid, they want to know where does it actually come from. And that's, of course, why you see almost every single food retail product that you see out there that's manufactured, they got to have an address or a place of origin that they can trace a product back to. You'll even notice this, actually, as a matter of fact, on several types of different foods, where you'll see like a lot number or even a production date in a certain facility. Manufacturers who have a lot of facilities like Hershey's or Campbell's Soups, they have each facilities labeled on the certain can or box or bag. And there's a reason for that, because they want to know where does it come from. So going back to the type of label information that I just spoke about, they want to know where's your address, where is it from, in case they have to contact you or follow up with it. So business address, you have to have on there. Business name. So if it's Damien's Chocolate Chip Cookie Company or whatever, you could put that on there as well. So you have the business name. It has to be the name that you're incorporated in. So if it's Damien's Chocolate Chips LLC, I would have to put that right on the label as well. And the next one up would be the ingredients, of course. Now, the ingredients are something that you would have to put on the label to make sure you cover every little thing that's in there, because if a customer or even a customer's child actually has a wheat sensitivity, or maybe it's a cookie that uses a certain flour, and if it's rice flour instead of regular wheat flour, and they have allergens to that, they want to know what is in it. So, and to really quick side note, the more information you can give your customers about educating them on what is in your food product, to tell you the truth, you're going to sell more product. So the least amount of information you put on there, it's going to leave a little bit of a questioning in the consumer's mind, and they're just going to put it back, or they're not going to even buy it. the more information you could give them to really inform them on a decision. And I know that it may sound like you're kind of overthinking it, but it's really not. It's great to inform your customers, because if they love your product and it's clearly stated that it has this, this, and this in it, and everybody in the house can eat it, they're going to come back and buy way more of it. So it's something that's really beneficial for you and your food business, okay? So the ingredients. Now, in some states, they also, in regards to the ingredients, they actually require them from the greatest to the least. So the most prevalent ingredient that you use in the product, that goes first, and then down to the least. Next up is the phone number. Now, again, this I've actually noticed, there's some of the research I've done for cottage food businesses in different states. The phone number for the business is not always required on there. Check with your state specifically to see what they require about your cottage food label. And the phone number is something that, again, it's a traceability issue. They just want to make sure that they have the ability to go back and they can contact you or follow up with you. Now, the other thing that's really beneficial about that is when you start a home-based food business, what I would recommend, and this is a great tip, is that you could get a second phone line dedicated to your home-based business. Okay, if you don't want to give out your phone number for your home, but you have a home-based food business, in a lot of states, they'll allow you to do that. It's perfectly fine, as long as it's the phone number going back to the home where it's produced. Get a home-based phone number, and that way the customers, or if someone has a question, or hey, you know what, I'd like to order 20 of those and have you meet me at the next festival or fair or farmers markets, those things were so good, they can contact your business line and not kind of bother you at your home number, okay? Now, the other thing is your product name. This is something that a lot of states do require, and if you've got a name, and what I mean by name is if it's a certain type of chocolate chip cookie, then you can put chocolate chip walnut cookie, okay? If it's something like white chocolate macadamia and so on, or chocolate covered pretzels, that is the name of the food product, and they would want that on the label as well. Now, this is the most important, and I personally put it on everything that we make. Of course, we're in a commercial licensed facility. It's much different. But when we started from our home, I put it on there anyways, and this is a legal thing that I kind of do to protect myself, and you really should do this, even if the state doesn't require it, the county doesn't require it, an allergen warning. So anything that you're producing in your kitchen that could cross-contaminate a product and get somebody sick, you want to definitely put that on your allergen warning. And those are like some of the most basic allergens, such as wheat, soy, dairy, eggs, nuts, tree nuts or peanuts, or any type of tree nut. Put that on the allergen warning just to make sure that the consumer knows you're making it in a kitchen that could potentially get cross-contaminated with those allergens, because you really don't want, I would hate to see any children or child get really sick or affected by something like that, but it's also adults or anybody with any certain type of allergens. You really want to protect yourself, because if you put that on the label, that is something that will help keep people away from buying your product who may have really big sensitivities to certain types of ingredients, okay? And then lastly is the statement. This is a statement. It's a basic statement. And what I'm going to do is pop up right on the screen here. There is another label right there. And that is going to show you the statement. These are statements that basically let the consumer know that the food product is not being produced in a commercial facility, but actually at a home kitchen. And it may not be inspected by the state, may not have health board inspections or anything like the Department of Agriculture, because in a lot of states, they don't do inspections for home-based food businesses. And of course, like I mentioned, not to sound like a broken record, but every state does vary. So they may or may not come in and inspect, but you need to have the statement on there so your customers know that it's not being produced in some type of facility where the Department of Agriculture goes in and looks at it, or the health department comes in every month or every 6 months to inspect. And that statement is really, again, something to protect you more so than the consumer, because that way they know that it's not being produced in a commercial facility. So I hope that those tips help you out understand and kind of navigate through the labeling questions that you have. Now, what I would recommend you do is to go to Google. And if you want to look up your state specifically, here is a great tip on how to do that. If you're in Idaho, okay, I want you to type into Google Cottage Food Law and then the state. Whatever state you're in, if it's Idaho, I was using that as an example, you could do Cottage Food Law and then Idaho. And what will happen is the first probably 2 or 3 list there on Google, the websites that pop up, those are going to be the information set up by the state. Most of the time, those are government websites the state will set up, and they'll have much more information. Of course, in the description down below, I can't list every single state's website, but that's a really simple trick to help you educate yourself on your state. Alrighty, so with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. And again, if you have some more questions, let me know down in the comment section. If my video was helpful, please do give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, like I said, always ask me, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. And if you're looking for more information, there are 2 more videos, and you can click on those. Take care.